investment property. Contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
Lawrence Prescott Photography. I'm smiling, I'm laughing because, God, I know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Prescott Photography. That's the only person you need to call when you're ready to take your pictures. You want those pictures to come out right. You want those pictures to last forever. You want your best picture taken? Lawrence Prescott Photography. He does private events, in studio also, and outdoor photography if you need. Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you and anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up. It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S., Southeast region, or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me feel.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there, Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you. Need to get something to the Caribbean fast? Look no further than E&W Shipping. With convenient locations in Atlanta, Maryland, and Jamaica, we are your go-to for all your exporting needs. Whether it's a small package or a large shipment, we've got you covered. Contact us today for quotes and shipping schedules at 770-524-8663. The number one more time, 770-524-8663. And here's a special offer for all our loyal returning customers. You will get 30% off. That's right, if you're a loyal returning customer, we are going to give you 30% off. So ship and clear with E&W Shipping, the fastest way to ship to the Caribbean. E&W Shipping, delivering satisfaction one package at a time.
This is Pastor Carlene Hepburn. Please tune in to Recharge Nation every Saturday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. on Caribbean Life, TV, and radio.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of worship and praise. It's the Sound of Praise concert happening on Saturday, October the 12th at the Word of Life International Church of God. 4881 Lawrenceville Highway, Tucker, Georgia is the place to be. Featuring powerful performances by Evangelist Bridget Blucher, Joanne Sebastian, and Marlon Brother Paul Anderson, along with the amazing Word of Life praise team. Doors open at 4 p.m. and the concert kicks off at 6 p.m. sharp. Tickets are just $30 prepaid or $35 at the door. Don't miss out on this uplifting evening of music, praise. Delicious foods will also be on sale. For more information, call 917-755-5481 or 678-525-9397. Come experience the power of praise at the Sounds of Praise concert, October the 12th. I will see you there.
Hey now, hey, this is Stacy with Reading to Feed the Mind. Join us every Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30, as we talk about various authors, books, and everything around reading and literacy.
Summertime anthem, and that's the truth, Ruth.
As long as the sun is shining, it's always summertime, so come on, let's fly.
Courtesy of Jermaine Mobley and your boy Arrow. Come on, y'all. Let's get them toes done. Them dresses out. Brothers, clean up your kicks. Yeah.
Weekend is coming up, let's open up the windows and let me lend you this melody to ride. I know you were stuck inside, but now it's party time. Yeah, it's party time. Yeah. Sunlight is creeping in, we starting up so early, and we so Jersey. Cars parked out on the lawn. We may not be here for long. Cops come, we say so long. Yeah. Yeah. So high, it's summertime. It feels like it's the day to go down. The sun is out, let's find a good place to cool down. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime? My car is looking clean, I washed it up this morning. Our heads are turning as I am rolling by. The baddest girl on my side, we'll have some fun tonight.
Hey. Hey, y'all, we're back. I hope everybody is dry and has made it home and curling up with me to talk about books or listening to me while you're cooking your dinners or something. But anyway, welcome. Thank you for coming to Reading to Feed the Mind. I am Stacy Woods, your host, and it's a hard day. I don't have all the energy that I usually have, y'all. It's hard out there. It ain't the weather that's just hard. Life be lifing, but I'm happy to be here with you all. And I am happy to discuss one of my favorite authors. We're going to talk about Terry McMillan today. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her. She is a very popular author. And I'm just going to talk about one of her latest books. And I'm not sure if it was another one. I Googled, but I think this would have been the last one. It's Not All Downhill from Here. I read this one. This one was published in 2020, and I think it was around that time. And I don't have the hard copy, which I'm ashamed to say, because usually with Terry and some authors, I do it on Audible, but I also buy the book. But I don't think either I overlooked it or whatever, but I did it on Audible. But anyway, so Terry McMillan first started with her first book, Mama, in 1987. And then it went to Disappearing Acts and Waiting to Exhale, which we all really, some of us, I think, some people first got introduced to Terry McMillan with Waiting to Exhale because that was the book about, with all of the ladies, and where the husband, dumped the wife for the white woman, and she burned his car, and all that stuff. That was that movie, and yes, it had. Lord, I'm trying to think of every other name but the name I need to say, but I can look it up. But anyway, so some people first got introduced to her in Waiting to Exhale. And then, of course, if you did not get to know her in Waiting to Exhale, you definitely got to know her in How Stella Got Her Groove Back. And both of those had Angela Bassett as the main character. And I never thought about that. I never really realized that Angela Bassett was the main character of both of those movies. And then, with Waiting to Exhale, that was really the one, with all the women. And that's what I always love about Terry McMillan is her ability to show true sisterhood. And all of her stories are either based with family, unity and family, because that would have been Mama, and A Day Late and a Dollar Short. Those two emphasized more of the family structure. But that's what I always appreciated with Terry McMillan, is that she knew when she wrote about sisters, it was always a bond and it was always about togetherness. So I feel like I have matured in my life along with the books that she has written. Because let's see, I probably would have read Mama. When I read Mama by Terry McMillan, I know I was in my 20s. So I would have been probably in my mid-20s when I started reading Terry McMillan. And so her characters always reminded me of my older cousins, and I could relate. Terry McMillan herself, I think, is about 15 years older than me, and that is around the age range, of like my older cousins. And I always talk about them, how they were like my sister cousins, which I'm sure, most of us can relate to. But I could always, when I would read her books, I could always, relate from things that I heard them say or watching them. And as I began to mature, I started, and with my girlfriends, I could see a lot of what she was writing about. It was relevant to our relationships. And I'm going to get on my pill box, or what did they call it? My stand, and say something. That's why when a lot of the reality TV shows started, my daughter was a teenager at that time, like preteen, teenager, middle school, high school, when all of those shows started, and especially the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I would watch that with her, and I would tell her, true girlfriends really don't act like that, and I would try to explain to her how my relationship with my girlfriends, and true girlfriends don't carry on like we see in reality TV. But unfortunately, with that having been such a part of our television lives, and, and for those people who didn't have the guidance or, to be able to actually see that in their real lives, and they didn't know to not pass it on to our children. And so I always say, when we see these young ladies and they fighting with each other, pulling each other hair out in wigs, we can't blame anybody but ourselves, because the adults who are supposed to be their role models, that's all they doing. That's all they see on TV. When we were coming up on TV, watching TV and when we were coming up, the women that we saw on television were, housewives, or then, as we got into the 80s and stuff, we saw more successful women. And if we saw relationships, they weren't women fighting. Okay, so now wait, we did have Dallas. And I think that might have been the first that we saw cat fights, with women, but it still wasn't anything that was consistent throughout the whole series. But so now everything on television, all of these reality shows, because I'm trying not to get caught up, it's called Sisters-in-Law, that comes on Hulu. And these are successful Black attorneys. And, rather than showing kindred people or connections, it's always, it always has to be some kind of conflict. Now, do we really have conflict in life? Yes, we do, but we don't have to keep seeing it. They make it seem like it's always something consistent. And when you look at every reality show of Black women together, and they're fighting and, being petty and catty, that is not true friendship. And that's what I do enjoy about Terry McMillan, because I think I learned, even in reading her books, how you have true friendships. No, it's not going to be laughter and fun all the time. And yes, I have 10 close girlfriends. We travel together. We laugh, we talk, we celebrate birthdays. You know, we come up with reasons to get together so we can laugh and drink. And do we always get along? 90% of the time we do. Is everyone close and tight with each other? No, you got some that are closer than others, but we all are friends. We all love and respect each other. And when things go down, we stop what we doing and we stand with each other. And so that's the beautiful thing of it. And we can travel together. We have had some amazing times together. And again, that's the same thing I see in Terry McMillan's book. Because you can. Nothing is perfect, but it's better than the reality stuff we see. So then, as I said, you know, she started with, I think, let's see, Disappearing Acts. I'm trying to remember. Waiting to Excel was when we first started really seeing that kindred spirit of close girlfriends. And from there, so you know, with Waiting to Excel, those ladies were probably mid-30s. Few of them might have been like early 40s at the time. And so with It's Not All Downhill from Here, now we're with the ladies, the close girlfriends that's in their 60s and 70s. And throughout this book, we are watching the challenges that each of those ladies have. So the story, basically, the main character in the story is Laretha Curry. She's 68. She owns her own beauty supply business, right? And so she is she's successful, but you know, she's dealing with those midlife crises, those midlife, you know, things that we're dealing with. Well, I ain't there yet, so I'm not gonna say we, but you deal with when you're hitting 60, 68, right? And so then she has, and what she's realizing that at 60, life ain't over. You know, we are not our mother and grandmother and aunts 60. You know, you look at women now, 60 is 40 in appearance. You know, the way women are carrying themselves. When we were growing up, 60 was that, you know, skirts past your knee and white stockings, knee highs tied in a knot on the side, and you know, the SAS shoes, those SAS shoes. That's what 60 was for us growing up. But now, and not everybody, I know, because I have two aunts, God rest their souls. At their 60, no. They were still in them 2-inch heels and makeup and accessories. So they were straight divas at their 60. But I'm just saying, overall, when as women were getting older, when I was growing up, you know, it's almost like they had a place. So they got in their place. They were more humble and content with the simple things in life. So that 60 is not anymore. And that's what Laretha is figuring out, that at 60, life is far from over, right? Because, again, she's 68. She owns her beauty supply, and she has a loving group of friends even at this age. She has a tragedy, so I'm not going to give it all because I really do want y'all to read the book. So she does have a tragedy in her life, and, you know, she goes downhill just a little bit, but she's still surrounded. She's surrounded by Carlton is her husband, and then her other friend, Rashida. She had a friend, Rashida, and Poochie, Corey, Lucky, Jackson, and Selah. Those were all the people that she was surrounded with. Carlton was her husband, and he you know, he's kind of a part of that tragedy. I pretty much gave it away. And then Rashida is her best friend. I look up, and that's a part of the group. Rashida is the comedian in the group. You know, she gives comic relief and wisdom throughout the book. So I would say I'm probably Rashida in our group because I'm always trying to say something to make them laugh, and I'm silly, you know, and things like that. And then there's Poochie. She's the emotional support and advice. Now, that's my girlfriend, Tawana, because I call her Iyanla. She's my own personal Iyanla because she's going to give you that support, but advice more than advice more than support. But if she can always put you in your place and set you straight and give you that encouragement. And then there's Corey. She has her own problems, but she manages to still be there as much as she can as Laretha is going through her issues. And then there's the character Jackson, who is her nephew, and he gives love and support, and they have a small little conflict situation that goes on with them, but not directly, but some things that's happening in his life, but she's helping him through that. And then Selah, who's her granddaughter, and she's the younger generation, and kind of gives that generational connection to the story. And then Selah's mom is in here too. Where's her sister? Because there were some things, she goes through a strain with her sister in this book too. So again, it's not the la peace and happiness, fictional, unrealistic kind of stuff. Terry McMillan always give a balance of the good and the bad, but how we persevere through it. Resilience is always in her book. I remember when I read A Day Late and a Dollar Short. Oh my God, I cried. I really did. I cried at the end of that book. And you all may have seen the movie. And I think the movie was pretty much on point to the book. And but again, even with that movie, with that one, that was more family based. But she's able to depict what we all go through. We all got that one brother, and in my case, that cousin, that's just like, what you doing? What you doing? Why don't you get it right? What you doing? But anyway, so if you've never, which I can't imagine there's too many people out there that has never read a Terry McMillan book. I can't imagine. And if you haven't, what's wrong with you? But if you haven't, y'all, if you pick up any one of her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, I promise you will enjoy it. I've never really spoken to anyone that has never read a Terry McMillan book. And I know because all of her books are based on the female perspective on everything. I know it's probably some men that's like, oh, is she always writing about those women? But she's not male bashing. She gives a realistic look at the men. And it's not always bad because Carlton was a wonderful husband in this book. And I'm trying to think, was anybody else? Well, in Waiting to Exhale, the husband did his little, dirty stuff. But that happens, does it not? But then you think about in Waiting to Exhale, so that was kind of like a showing more of the negative side of men than the positive. Because I'm trying to think, was there any? Okay, so the husband had cheated, and then Whitney's character was with the married man, and then what's her name's character was, just he wasn't really about nothing. So yes, it was Loretta Devine and Gregory. They were, that was a positive male figure in the book. But y'all, come on, in reality, every man ain't good. Just like every man ain't bad, every man ain't good. And sometimes we just got to talk about them to help the younger generation recognize them so, they can work around them. But anyway, so I thought the book, what I think I loved the most about this book was the camaraderie, the friendship, and how Laretha was really going through, because they talk about fitness. That was a topic in there because one of the ladies was really into fitness and trying to get them to come and participate in the class. And, how important, I think that was emphasized in the book, that as we get older, it's still extremely important to keep our bodies moving. Because when you don't, you get stuck. Some of these ailments and stiffness, you're still going to have stiffness, but it'll be less likely because you got to keep your body moving. And that was something that really came out throughout this book, too. But I think the resilience part of it, her rising above her challenges, because, she had a tragic event which altered, her entire life and really sent her, like on a downward spiral. But again, through the friends and her ability to, move and get through it is really what pushed her through. So, anybody on with me? Can somebody share their experience with the book? And I know I'm asking, but you're probably maybe not on Facebook with me. And yeah, I don't see anybody. I got some likes. Thank you for the likes, y'all. Thank you for the likes. Anybody have a Terry McMillan book, a favorite one? If you listening, put it in chat on Facebook. Oh, I need to share my page. No, okay. Anyway, so, but outside of this one, a day late. No, it's not all downhill from here. I have not done, so Who Asked You, I haven't read, and I Almost Forgot About You, and Getting to Happy. Those are the three that I have not read. I've read all the other ones, but I have not. Getting to Happy was published in 2010, and it was published in 2010, and it's a sequel to Waiting to Exhale. So I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I think 2010 was probably around the time that it was around the time that I wasn't reading that much. I had really dropped off. From reading. So I did not get a chance to read that one. But, the beautiful thing about books, y'all, they don't expire. They don't expire at all. Now, what'll happen is it'll make references to things. It makes references to things that if you weren't in that time frame, the younger people probably like, they did what? What's a beeper? Things like that. So, but I did enjoy that book, and I'm looking forward to catching up on some of the others, eventually going back and reading Getting to Happy, and Who Asked You, and I Almost Forgot About You, getting to those. So let's see. Nobody's talking about anything. I got another like. Thank you. I wish I could see who's giving me these likes. Put your name in chat and let a sister know. Let a sister know who's liking my pages. So anyway, yeah, I did, y'all. I came to a. So let's see, what else can I talk about with this book? It's amazing that it's been so many years ago how Stella got her groove back. Time just go by so fast, and then you still be feeling young, and you wake up one day and try to get out the bed, and it be like, no, you ain't young no more. You ain't young. But you still push through and stay resilient in all that you do. Some of my other, let's see, who else is like Terry McMillan that I've enjoyed that writes about different things and family? Tina McElroy Anza, she is really a good author. She writes a lot about family, not so much about girlfriends, but family. And then she writes, it's more family based in the books that I've read of hers. So I'm gonna save it and wait to talk about that. Let's see. Disappearing Acts. I'm trying to remember what Disappearing Acts. I know I read it. I'm gonna see what was Disappearing Acts about. It was because I know it wasn't a movie. The only two movie. Oh yes, it was a film. Okay, hold on. Okay, High School. Okay. All right. Okay, so Zora Banks, who Sanaa Lathan played, she played the character. I'm trying to remember it. Is a would-be singer. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, is a would-be singer who pays her bills working as a New York City high school music teacher. Franklin Swift, Wesley Snipes, is a financially troubled, recently divorced builder with 2 young children. The two meet when Zora moves from Brooklyn to Manhattan and finds Franklin working on her apartment building. Despite their very different personal lives and their difficult financial situations, the two soon fall in love and begin a steamy affair. I do remember this one. I do. Because what I loved about this one, you know, and I do remember it, she took him in. That was back during the time, you know, when women were trying to get away from these brothers who really wasn't doing anything. So that was what this book was about. And so they were together, and he was trying to get himself together, but they really, because he wasn't doing all that he needed to do. And eventually she was like, I can't do this no more. But then when she did that, he got himself together. Because I think that's how it ended with, you know, when they broke up and she was able to start being more successful in her career. Her career took off. And then when they ran into each other or something, he was telling her how he had going on. I don't know if he started his business, but he had finally done, I think, what she had been trying to push him to do. Because that was, let's see, Disappearing Acts was 1989. Because that was a lot, that was during that era when it was, you know, talked about a lot about black women and, you know, and black men and us pushing men and, you know, and demanding and wanting so much, but it wasn't even about that. It was more about, hey, I'm here to support you, but come on, you got to do more. You got to live up to the standard. And I think that's sometimes, y'all, woo-wee, that's sometimes with these men, you know, and they go with the alter race, and you know, because they just take them as they are and, you know, submit and do everything that they want to do, when all we're trying to do is say, hey, bro, just come on. You got more in you that you can be. Come on and be it. But I remember that was that era that they were like, oh, well, the black woman just expect too much, she want too much or whatever. Why shouldn't we want a lot? We are entitled to a lot. Right? And if we're working and we are willing to love and support you where you are, then that should make you want to even do better for us and yourself. And that was the whole theme of that book. And it wasn't until she walked away from him that he finally got together. And what makes it so bad is that alternate race, from what I've seen, they'll act like they'll love you and they'll let these men do whatever they want and, you know, they get to be and do. But then when they leave them, everything that they've said good about them turns straight evil. All the things that they love, they reverse it and start talking about them. My husband and I have this joke about, you know, it seems like every black man been with a white woman go crazy. Go crazy after they break up. And some of that, I think, is because in my experiences from the people that I have known, so I am not speaking for everybody, but in those situations, those were the type of men that they were. You know, they give just enough, and it's not enough. But then the white woman is there, and she's, oh, baby, well, that's okay. I got it. Oh, well, you're doing wonderful. Oh, well, it's okay. Oh, I love you, you know, and all the other stuff that they known for, making them feel good. And then when they got tired, right, and when they couldn't take any more of his halfness and not doing enough, they leave. But they don't just leave and say, I can't do this anymore. Everything that they said that they accepted now gets thrown back at them, and they're degraded, and it tears them down in my experiences. So don't be, chatting and sending messages later. Okay? My experiences. I've not been out throughout the world. I've not seen everybody. I am only speaking from my experiences. But because you can't help who you love. If you love somebody of a different race and you truly love them, I'm happy for you. I have no issues with that. I'm only speaking in this regard. But anyway, so a lot of people, I think there were some people back then was like, oh, she just always got to show a man ain't doing nothing. Well, she's giving an example. And that's the reality of it, y'all. I get so tired. Like, okay, when Color Purple came out, Color Purple, oh my God, the music, the colors in that, the costumes, it deserved an Academy Award, but it didn't get one. And it largely didn't get an Academy Award because we were fussing. We were fussing because we felt like it didn't depict the black man correctly, because Mr. was abusive. I'm pretty sure y'all know of several black men who are abusive. And during that time, excuse me, during that time, that was the norm, to some regards. Again, not everybody, but that was a tendency. The way he treated her was a tendency for that era, right? And white men they've been abusive, they've left their families. Probably the numbers, y'all, if you were to Google it, the numbers are probably very, very close. It probably is not that big of a gap between no good white men and other races and no good black men. Because I hear stories from white folk, too, that had abusive fathers, cheating fathers. My daddy left me and I never saw him again. I have heard stories. Now, not as many because I'm not around a whole bunch of white people to hear those kind of stories, but I do know that they do exist. And so what happens, they can tell their stories. We can watch a million Lifetime movies of white men who sexually abuse their daughters, or white men who beat their wives, or white men who cheated. And we never hear white women complaining about it, saying it's not a fair depiction. But as soon as we do it as the black race, then we're mad. And I know why we're mad, because we don't get a lot of, we didn't used to be depicted that often. So then when you do depict it, we're always so afraid that that other race is going to think that's every black man. But what we don't realize is that's not our burden, right? If you don't have intelligence to know that what you saw on that movie does not reflect every black man, then that's an issue that you have, not with us. But anyway, getting off my pedestal. But that is what I love about Terry McMillan, her ability to show and fairly depict families that you can see in her movies or read in her books, and really kind of see the characters and relate to all the characters. Because I don't think I've read anything of hers that I couldn't relate to the characters in some way, whether it was me personally, somebody in my family, or somebody I heard that went through that same thing. So she does a really good job of depicting, our lives. And because I'm pretty sure a lot of times she's telling her story or experiences, things that she has experienced. So again, if you are one of the very, very few that has never read a Terry McMillan book, I challenge you to pick up any of them, and you will, because if you in a situation with a mama and the relationship may not be that good, read Mama. And we just talked about Disappearing Act. If you're in one of those relationships with someone that, is not emotionally, financially, or whatever supportive, then pick up Disappearing Acts. And Waiting to Exhale, girlfriends supporting each other. Because in Waiting to Exhale, of course, there was Angela Bassett's character, the husband cheated on her. And then, like I said, you had all those different dynamics and relationships with men, right? But Gregory Hines and Loretta Devine? They had a really good relationship because their relationship was that signature of, a single mama raising a boy that really kind of needed the guidance of a man. And then you remember that twist with the ex-husband, he was gay, and she still was trying to, rekindle that relationship, and it was never going to happen. And then her son wrapping his mind around having a father that's gay. So just a whole bunch of dynamics, y'all. And then, of course, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, that 40-something woman with a little young man chasing after her. But even in that, she had girlfriends to support her because Whoopi was her girlfriend. And that girlfriend support and love with a best friend who always has your back and encourages you. And then A Day Late, A Dollar Short, that was that family where you had the mama, because the mother was Whoopi, and, you had, who were all the characters in that? But, you had that one brother that was struggling, like, come on, you got to get yourself together, you got to do better, that kind of thing. And then The Interruption of Everything, I read that one. Oh, that one was about a woman who had a housewife. She was servicing everybody else, but never taking time out for herself. And then she got to a point where she was like, okay, enough is enough. Y'all grown. I need time for me. That's what The Interruption of Everything was about. And that one was pretty good. And again, Getting to Happy is a sequel to Waiting to Exhale. Didn't read that one. Who Asked You? I didn't read that one. And I almost forgot about you. I didn't read that one. But then It's Not All Down from Here is that culmination. Now you dealing, with the older group. So if you it's something for everybody in a Terry McMillan book. So I strongly encourage you to please, if you, like today would be a good day. Today, tomorrow, and summer Friday would really be good curl up and read a book days. Because I'm starting to do that now. I'm reading a book. I can't pronounce her name. Ken Bivens was on my show when I first started, and it's his latest book. So I'm going to try to bring him back. Philona Mabel, the tragic wedding of Philona Mabel. But it is really good. It's a mother-daughter relationship, and, the strain of that and how it's coming out of it. And everything, but it's really good. So I'm reading that one, and I'm proud of myself, y'all, because I'm reading that one. I'm not reading Audible. So, and another one I'm going to go back over is Cast. Now, that's the thing about me. Once I read a book, I read a book. I hear people was like, oh, I read that book 3 times. I've never been able to really do that. And I've tried. I have had books where I tried to go back and read through it again, but I just don't have the patience to read through it again because I already know what's going to happen. But I know when you do that, sometimes you pick up things that you missed before, kind of like watching the movie. But I've not been able to ever do that, go back and read a book a second time. So. But anyway, I have enjoyed my time with y'all today, and I still got time. No one has said anything in the chat. I have to share it. I have to really share it. And I got to start giving y'all the number and saying, call and talk to me. 678-661-1819. So if you're somewhere and you want to call and just say something to me, we got about 10 more minutes. So y'all can call me, 678-661-1819. Call me and tell me what you think. If you've read a Terry McMillan book or you have a favorite Terry McMillan book, 678-661-1819. Now I'm going to see who really out there listening. Or am I just sitting here talking to myself? But it's a good thing, y'all, because this is therapy. This is really, really good therapy because I can just sit and talk and I don't have to feel crazy because... because I know somebody is listening. So it's not like I'm talking to myself. And yeah. I have a draft for my second book, and my second book is going to be, about women and, the different issues. It'll be kind of like a Terry McMillan, but these women aren't friends. They're not like good friends. This is going to be about a group of women sharing the same interest, and they're in a group. And then we're just going to see the different personalities and the things that they're going through in their lives and how it just all pulls together. So I got the draft, and I've started on it a little, but I haven't had, I'm just I'm letting the characters come to me and really, really talk to me. So it'll hopefully in the next year and a half, I'll have it out. But because I think it's extremely important that women have girlfriends. My sister was somewhat of an introvert. I was whenever I see those memes or little clips on social media about that little sister and she just bouncing all around and getting on the big sister nerve, that was so me. That was so me. I am the little sister, right? But one thing about my sister I noticed, and I think that was some of her issues, was that my sister never had close girlfriends, and so she never had anyone that she could sit down and really just talk to about her issues or things that were bothering her. It was 7 years difference, so she couldn't really talk to me. She always told on me, though. So, but anyway, because I was that little sister. But I think it's extremely important that you have someone in your life that you can confide in and that has your back. My girlfriends, and I know I've said this before on the show, of 10 of us, there are 3 that know where the bodies are buried, that I can pick up at any time and be like, and I know it stays with whoever I talk to, and 9 times out of 10, whatever I'm sharing with her, I eventually share with the others. But it's always, always good because you take the good with the bad. Again, we're not perfect. And I learned this from my girlfriend, my bestest friend, Shondo. And it's funny because all 10 of us are together because of her. All of us knew her, and then eventually we met each other. But one thing she always told me, you take the good with the bad. They may not be perfect. They may not, make the same amount of money or do the same thing you do or whatever, but what do they bring to you? They bring laughter and joy, and that's what matters. I think we're too hard on each other, but you always need that true girlfriend, not that fake bougie girlfriend or that fake girlfriend that y'all secretly really competing against each other. We as women should be okay with each other, whether all of us are married or not, and that's the beauty of our relationships. My girlfriend group, now, we are all married now, but we had one girlfriend that was tight with us. And she had been married, but she was divorced. She was single, and she was happy single. But that never impacted when we traveled. She traveled with us. Whatever we did, whether we were just girls or with the husbands, because our husbands was her husband in the sense of, get that for me, do this or whatever. She was like, because we're like sisters, so it didn't matter. But I think a lot of times women restrict themselves from finding close girlfriends because they got so many stipulations. Single women don't want to be with the married women. Well, they married, they ain't got a man. Have you ever thought that maybe you might find somebody, if you mix and mingle? Because the husband might have a friend. And please, please, don't meet them going into relationship asking, you got a friend? Please, don't do it. Because 9 times out of 10, when you go in and you with your girlfriends and their boyfriends or husbands, and you go, you got a man, you got any friends you can just call, they're going to be like, no. Because you're thirsty. And, you know, you coming off as desperate. But anyway, so, and another thing for y'all single ladies, when you are meeting women that's married, please stop with well, you got a 2 income. You got 2 incomes in your household. And 2 incomes means that just many more bills. It don't mean that I'm living on gravy just because I got somebody, another man, I got a man in my house, okay? Please stop doing that. Please stop doing that. And then married women, when you see a single woman, stop assuming that woman is going to go after your man. 9 times out of 10, you the only one that want that man. And if you that concerned, you need to check him if you that worried that you can't be around a single woman or a single woman can't be around your husband. Your true issue is him, not her. And that's why we can't all get along, because we have so many issues, true issues that we're not dealing with. But you gotta get, you have to get women that you trust. And then ultimately you have to be that friend. You got to be that person in order to you've got to be able to be a good friend if you want to have some good girlfriends. You got to be somebody that they can talk to without judgment. You got to truly have their back. You got to be the one that's not concerned about competing and whose hair is longer, who weave look better. When we were growing up, we would worry about somebody's hair, actual hair, being longer than ours. And now it's all about the weave and, and all of that kind of stuff. And, hers longer, or she got this hair instead of this hair. Anyway, stop being competitive and truly look for people that you can have a kindred relationship with and a bond like no other. I am truly, truly thankful, and I don't know if they're all listening, because, see, that's the other part. I'm okay with my... They watch the podcast when they can watch it. And then when they can't, they can't. I understand they have a life, but they still support me. They tell me how proud they are of me that I'm doing this podcast. They tell other people about it, so I know I have their love and I know I have their support. And so, that doesn't mean that you really are part of everything, but you are there and you can uplift them when they're down. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and merge on out. I thank y'all for joining me today and allowing me to share my love for Terry McMillan and her books. I hope that I have encouraged someone to get on Audible, because the cool thing about her books on Audible, Terry McMillan narrates her own books. And she does a really good job, in my opinion, because, she's feeling her characters and she knows how and what they should say. So anyway, love y'all. Thank you for joining me today. And as I say all the time, keep reading to feed your mind. And I want to put a reminder out. Don't forget, on the 11th, is it the 11th? We are doing, my cousin Kwanda is coming back, and we are going to discuss it will be on the 16th. We are going to discuss The Other Black Girl. Oh my God, y'all. This is all I'm going to say. No, I'm not going to say it. Because I don't want to give anything away. Get your books. Join us on October 16th. As we discuss The Other Black Girl. Even if you don't read the book, please watch the series on Hulu. Watch season 1 on Hulu. And I'll tell you why I'm encouraging you all, even if you don't read, just watch the series and tune in and let's discuss it, because it's a good, especially if you a black woman working in corporate with other black women. This is going to be a really good book to discuss. So if you don't read it, watch the series on Hulu. I promise you, you can still contribute. And we'll get deeper into why I'm suggesting that you watch the series on Hulu too when we discuss the book. Because I've watched the series and I've done the book on Audible. So I've completed the book on Audible. So October 16th, The Other Black Girl. Next week, we are going to discuss, I'm going to, I don't know. And yes, I'm saying it. It's my podcast. I can do it the way I want to do it. So anyway, I will see you all next Wednesday. And I will put a post on my page and CLTV of what we're going to discuss next week. Anyway, I will see you all next Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. Y'all stay blessed and safe. Stay dry. Peace. Hey now, this is Stacy with Reading to Feed the Mind. Join us every Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30, as we talk about various authors, books, and everything around reading and literacy.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of worship and praise. It's the Sound of Praise concert happening on Saturday, October the 12th at the Word of Life International Church of God. 4881 Lawrenceville Highway, Tucker, Georgia is the place to be. Featuring powerful performances by evangelist Bridget Blucher, Joanne Sebastian, and Marlon Brother Paul Anderson, along with the amazing Word of Life praise team. Doors open at 4 p.m. and the concert kicks off at 6 p.m. sharp. Tickets are just $30 prepaid or $35 at the door. Don't miss out on this uplifting evening of music, praise. Delicious foods will also be on sale. For more information, call 917-755-5481 or 678-525-9397. Come experience the power of praise at the Sounds of Praise concert, October the 12th. I will see you there.